Great.
Whoa, this ain't going.
See down the side. And
But I appreciate everybody on the chat tonight for your comments. Well, hello, big keepers. I'm Ricky Rourke, and this is the Bee Connection. And just so y'all know, Melissa and Tom was on with us just a second ago. Somebody had hit a power pole. They were live streaming from their phone, hooked to their desktop, and they had about 16% before we got on air. So just as we ran the intro, they're gone. So
I was right on that.
Yes, he was.
I made the comment. I said, I bet you don't have enough battery to make it through the intro video.
you nailed it, Lee.
Yep, definitely nailed it. So just remember them tonight. They have no power. I think Melissa said they were cooking at the time. There's no hot water probably. Well, there probably might be some hot water, but you ain't got no pressure. So just remember them tonight. It's going to probably be a hard night. I'm sure it's pretty warm out there. It's about 83 here right now. So anyway, we do have some special guests with us tonight. So we'll definitely run them through the mill. A little bit about my bee yard. Oh, did they get back on? Hold on a second. There we go. Hey, they did come back.
We're back.
Hey, I was still right, though. They didn't make it through the intro.
So instead of me starting with what's going on with me, let's go to Tom and Melissa before they leave us again. So go ahead, Tom and Melissa. Let's know what's going on there with you guys and your bee yard.
All I know is I felt like Melissa pulled the plug. Everything went dark, and then my eye started to hurt. There was a sharp pain in my eye.
There's a sharp pain in your eye. So there was an accident at the top of our subdivision. They took out a power pole. So we are without power and without internet right now. So I am hotspotting the laptop for my phone, and my phone's about dead. So I also have my phone out on a power bank. So if we go in and out, that's why. This is about to be an interesting evening for us, especially when the sun goes down. But as far as the bees, we did a cutout today. Tom did some splits on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
My grafted queens turned out good, so he's got to put those in.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't started pulling honey because, again, this week it's just been nothing but rain, and so we couldn't pull honey. So now that's pushed off till next week.
Actually, Saturday.
Yeah.
So pulling honey on Saturday, putting everything in the garage, cleaning up, sorting things out, prepping everything, and hopefully start extracting on Monday, and I'll be done by Wednesday. That's my goal.
Yeah, because next weekend we're doing it at, well, not us, but our club, the EMBA is doing an extractaganza for people who don't have extraction equipment. You can bring your stuff in and we'll help you extract it. So we have to be up there on Saturday to do that. So we have to get all of our stuff done before we can do their stuff.
That's right. Busy week.
Very busy. I don't know how y'all get it done. You guys are always into something every week. Go, 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 go. So I'm just amazed at all you guys do there at your farm. So
Ricky, if I don't keep him busy, he gets into trouble.
See? I understand. Yep.
We got to keep him busy right now.
Yeah.
She is not wrong. I mean, I will openly admit it. She is not wrong.
My problem is when I finally get a few minutes free, then I'm offering somebody else some help, and then next thing you know, I'm overbooked.
Yeah.
Very very quick. So
That happens.
well, yeah. Well, what's going on in my bee yard? I did some queen grafting myself, Melissa. Also, I got some hives that I wanted to requeen, and I'm going to do some splits, get them ready for the fall, and hopefully they'll winter out really well. And then my mentoree from Hives for Heroes, I went to her place, and while I was in Mexico, she seen that her bees were about to swarm. She had swarm cells everywhere. So she did a split while I was gone. And we got back, and she did a great job. And the other hive that she had honey on it. So we pulled that off. I spun it out for her. So that was a very big success for us. And, I went and checked the queen cells just a few minutes ago before I got on live. And they look to be doing good. So hopefully we'll have some Sue Kobe queens coming up. So I'm excited about that. So what's going on with you, Lee, man?
A lot of rain down here. We pretty much getting rain every day right now. It's nothing real heavy, but it's enough the bees really ain't getting out. And by the time I get home, everything's wet. I can't even get back there. But when I had made it by real fast, they doing a lot of bearding with the temperatures we've been having down here. We've been getting 109, 111 heat index. Now, the last 2 days with the rain that's been coming in, has been bringing a lot more cloud and breeze with it. So we've been having a cold front. We're only hitting about 90 now. But hopefully, if I get a break this weekend, I still got about 20 supers out there that I need to extract. And just hadn't been able to get to them.
I will say I've got 10 hives on the Sarahwood right now on top of a mountain that's 3,600 feet above sea level. So I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out this weekend and see how much honey's coming in there. So we do have 2 special guests for us. We just decided that these guys were so special, we'd put them together and we could beat them up together. And,
I thought you were scraping by with a barrel.
Yeah. So most everybody knows Phil from 33 Miles. He's a very popular YouTuber. Most people probably don't know Dawson unless you went to the Hive Life conference or the expo. He worked in my booth with me. Really good friend of mine. Got some really cool stories about how he got into beekeeping. So we're going to start with Dawson, and just give me a little bit, Dawson, about how you got into beekeeping, because I think it's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous is what it was, Ricky. So my wife and I, we had just sold our house. We were living in a camper while we built our home on our property that we bought. And so she was thumbing through Facebook, and she said, this looks pretty cool. I said, what is it? She said, it's Introduction to Honeybees, beekeeping. And I said, okay. I said, well, sounds good. And she said, well, it's in February. I said, okay. And so she signed us up. And so we go, and we, it was our local beekeeping community that was putting it on. And so we go in, and of course they give you door prize tickets whenever you first go in. And so we go in, get our door prize tickets, go in, get a seat, and shortly they get started and they start calling out door prize. And so I won a hive tool, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool, a miniature crowbar. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And so a few minutes later, or actually a couple of segments later, she won a nuke of bees. And I was like, oh boy, what is a nuke of bees, And so, they explained to us what a nuke of bees was. And so I was like, well, we're in it now. We're going to have to go over here. They had some of the vendors there that are part of the bee club. And so we go over on lunch break, and we're talking to one of the vendors, and we go ahead and buy a Hive and go ahead and get our suit, our jackets, and smoker, the whole deal. We're set up to take in that nuke now. And so that same company had set up a raffle. And so I had learned this cool little trick on the raffle. Whenever you fill out the card, fold that card in half. And then whenever you come back, it's sprung open like that. So that whenever you put it in the tumbler, that joker will pop right up to the top, and they'll reach in there and pull it right out. So we continued on, and then it was lunch, and we'd finished lunch. I went to the restroom, came back out, and they called my wife's name. And I looked at her and I was like, "What have you won now?" And so they called it out. She won a package of bees, a 3-pound package. And I was like, "Dadgum, we just come to the introduction. We wouldn't come to all of a sudden be full-time beekeepers now." And so now we've got to go back over there, buy another hive because we got more bees coming. And so whenever it was all said and done, won a nuke and a package. And so that's how we started on our farm. We weren't even living on our farm, and we had honeybees on our farm.
That's pretty cool how you just kind of got thrown into it. It's just so amazing that you just learn a little bit, and then boom, there you go, right? But the good Lord knows, right?
Yeah, you're in it now. But what I love about beekeeping, that is, somebody said something in that I will never forget. Now that was 6 years ago. I will never forget what he said. He said, "Bees are something that scientists try and figure out, but every time that they think that they figure it out, they all of a sudden they do something totally different, and it baffles them. And it's a God thing. It's God. That is a creature that's created by God, and always keep them guessing. You know what I mean? I think that's what God's saying. We'll just keep them guessing.
We just toy with them just a little bit, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, but before we get to Philip down below about how he kind of got into beekeeping, anybody know bees need heat to build combs? So at what temperatures shuts them down? Anybody know? Anybody in the chat know? I'm not too sure myself. I do know that the observation hive behind me, I put a fan up into the hive just so that they're overheating. So I'm sure it gets down about 50 at night, but they're still drawing comb inside that hive right now. So you got anything, Lee?
I was just thinking, once your temperatures get high enough and you start kind of going into a dearth, because a lot of things are burning off. So you're not bringing in as much nectar, and you don't have those new bees that are being born out with the better wax glands and everything that when they're young. So, I would say upper 90s, depending on your area too. Yeah. But as long as you got nectar coming in, or if you can put some sugar water on them, that would still help. And
I wonder if
drawing comb out, I'll do like 3/4 to 1 sugar water.
Is it temperature or hydration?
To be honest, I don't know.
I don't know. That's
because
a good question, Richard.
Like my bees right now, they're all hanging out outside, and they're hot, they're thirsty, and I got into them the other day, and they've built a lot, but I didn't get into them before we hit the dry spell to see how much more they built after the dry spell. Because it's dry here, guys. It's like it sprinkled rain, and when I say that, like 15 minutes, and you couldn't even tell it on the ground. It just soaked it up like a sponge. And
Dawson, for them that don't know where you live at, can you just let them know your location?
I'm in North Georgia. I'm about an hour and a piece above Atlanta. What's that?
How close are you to Bob Benny?
I can be at Bob's place in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Close.
Yeah, 25 to 30 minutes to Bob's. And then I don't know, Commerce. I know a lot of people's heard of Commerce, Georgia. I'm probably like 15, 20 minutes from Commerce.
All right, Philip, give me a rundown on how you got into beekeeping. I don't quite think I know your full story, so let's run down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one. So basically, my brother-in-law's brother, he was a beekeeper just north of me. I am currently living surrounded by an 80-acre apple orchard. So I've got 10 acres here. So they would bring in the pollination hives for the apples every year. So the beekeeper that was keeping track of keeping those ones, and he didn't really keep track of them very good. So they would swarm all the time. He didn't want the swarms. So I called my brother-in-law's brother, he'd come down, grab the swarms. And then after a certain time, he's like, I can't take anymore. I'm just maxed out. I don't have any more equipment. So I'm like, well, it can't be that hard, can it? So went out, bought a hive, and there enough equipment to get started, and then it went downhill from there. So
yeah, it's good to have Ian on here tonight. I appreciate him coming on and being with us.
I can vouch for some of Phil's apple orchard honey. It's good.
So you basically got into beekeeping by somebody not wanting swarms. Is that correct?
Yep, you got it.
That's pretty cool.
That apple orchard. I actually work for them. It's kind of part-time weekends and evenings. I worked for them for 18 years. My dad actually is still working for them. He's worked for them for 36 years. So we've got a pretty good repertoire with her. We know them pretty good. So they're usually pretty good with me. And sometimes they'll be like, hey, come on over. We got a swarm here. Even now they'll say that, hey, they don't want to come down and get their swarm from the hives that are here. Just come on over and grab them. So that helps.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool that you that's kind of what got you into beekeeping, because I think swarms are just amazing. I think that's the funnest part, catching swarms and watching them blow out of a hive, and it just, I don't know, there's something about it just amazes me with swarms. So it's pretty cool. That's how you started out. So.
Yeah, even caught a swarm today. I mean, unfortunately, it was from one of mine, but.
Well, what's kind of amazing to me is I've seen a lot of my bees have swarmed a lot here in June and July, and that's not good. That's not the time of year you wanted it to happen,
No. So this one, it was a weak colony anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I got to go back into what they swarmed out of. It might have just been the nap's gone. I got to check it tomorrow if I get time.
So Vincent, I think he's probably asking me this question. What do you use to treat your mites in a horizontal hive? How do you not contaminate the honey? So that's a very good question, Vince. So I like to use oxalic acid. And so it is legal now, even though that I still, when I treat my bees, I don't really, I pull my honey off, basically, is what I'm doing. I've got certain frames marked, so I know what frames are honey frames, and I take them out. If it's going to be a summer, treatment, then that's the treatment I'll give. And of course, you'll pull those off also. And in the spring, at that point, you ain't got your honey frames in those horizontal hives. Because most people, I think a lot of people just think that you just fill that whole hive out and you just leave all the frames in it. You still will take some frames out. I leave about 15 to 18 in the horizontal hives. If you leave more than that, it just sits there. They don't really use all that honey. To be honest with you, for some reason, the horizontal hive, it seems like 2 deep frames. That's about all they use during winter. I don't know if it's because they're better insulated or how that works out, but that's what I usually use, oxalic acid. I have used some thymol. Put it on a cue card, sit inside your horizontal hive, put your inner cover on it, and they're going to track that out. That's another way to treat. And that's another more natural way. I do stay away from the Formic Pro. It's pretty strong, but that's just me. You could use it, and again, just take those honey frames out before you do that treatment. That's my suggestion. Anybody else got anything on that? You know, Dave, I know you got a bunch of horizontal hives. You might leave a message in the chat. So.
That's the only thing I've treated any of my hives with is the OAV. And I mean, as far as the horizontal, since the one I got from you is the queen rearing castle, so I got 12 entrances on the front, but I can run it as one long hive, and I just figure up how many frames I got in there, and say it's 15 or 20 frames. Instead of putting 2 grams in one hole, I'll put 1 gram in one hole, skip over closer to the other side, and then put the other gram in. That way it's kind of more even distributed.
Yeah.
I think
a little bit different.
I think the oxalic acid only persists in comb for like 3 days, so it dissipates very, very quickly. Yeah. But I myself have never treated with any putting treatments on whenever I've had honey on. I realize that they've changed the label and said that you can, and that's fine for people to do it. I've just chosen not to. I've done the same thing like Ricky said. That we use
Apiguard.
The Apiguard. We run 2 different treatments on that. Now, if the temperatures get a little higher, you can actually break it up into 3 treatments at that point. I think 25 grams,
30,
20-ish. I think the label actually says 25 if you read the label. We'll have to read the label to determine who was right. But anyway, yeah. So
I like what David's saying here. You know, location, and all of our experiences are different, right? So we all use something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like I feel for us, there's not really an appropriate time because of the temperatures for us to use Formic. You know, it's too, like when we should be treating for mites, it's way too hot in St. Louis to use Formic. We would have to wait until like the October to use Formic, and it's too late.
September, but
into September. But it's too late by then. You know, you need to be treating your bees now to get them prepped for winter. So, but yeah, it's definitely has a lot to do with where location.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. So. Yeah. All right, let's go back to beating up on these 2 special guests there because I get enjoyment out of it. So, Phil, how many hives you got right now?
Somewhere between 55 and 60. Somewhere in that range. I don't know. Somewhere in there.
You're getting on that other end of, not a backyard beekeeper almost.
Yeah, I took a pretty good jump this spring. I bought 30 hives off a guy that brought some back from California.
And what kind of bees are you running, Phil? And let everybody know where you're located at if they don't know already. Most people know where you're from.
Southeast Michigan, actually 33 miles north of the center of Detroit, straight north. So, I run primarily carnies. I seem to do okay overwintering them. If I have a secondary, I'd probably go with the Italians, but I try and stick with the carnies.
And Dawson, what are you running down there in Georgia right now? You still with those Italians that you're running?
They're mutts. They're all mutts. Yeah. Who knows what they are? I've got I just got some. We got a local guy. Well, I'm not far from Fat Bee Man. I mean, he's just right up the road. He's probably less than 10 minutes from my house. I don't get bees from him. But I got 4 nukes this year from Harold Lanier with Lanier Bee Barn, and those girls are doing great. I mean, they are just busting at the seams. They produced. I got them in late April, early May, and they've produced quite a bit of honey this year. Who is that?
Hey, that's Ruth.
Hey, Ruth. So I miss you, girl. I miss hanging out with y'all. I went over there and got 4 nukes and brought them to my house, and I've got them set up here. They're doing great. Those are, every time I get bees from Harold, they always do great. And then I had 5 at my farm, and I went over there and opened them up last week, and we were going to pull honey, and opened them up, and the second or third one that I got into, hive beetles had got in there. There was larvae everywhere, and they had decimated the hive. So I kicked that joker open and let them just do their thing, and let the sun get on it and let the bees rob it out. And then that thing was packed with honey. That broke my heart, but I know the other bees got into it and packed it out in the other hives. Like I said, I had 5 at the farm. There's 4 now, 4 active. 2 of them, well, one of them are in a Ricky Rourke horizontal hive, and I had wax moth get into my other big one, Ricky, the white one, the first one that I got from you. Had wax moth get into it, and I've got to go in there and clean all it out, and
Oh man.
I don't know, pressure wash it out, I guess. Pressure wash all the frames out, but clear all it out so that they'll come back in there. And then the horizontal that the raffle that I got, that I won at Hive Life.
Yep.
That one, I had an infestation of ants somehow. I have no idea. So had to get all those out. But the one that you built me with the lay-ins in the middle is doing great. That's probably my best hive.
Yeah, and I really like that design. So if you guys don't know, Dawson, he contacted me and said, "Hey man, I want a hive off of you." And I said, "Well, let's see if we can't get you in a drawing, and maybe you can win a hive." And he actually ended up coming in second place. So he said, "Man, I still want a hive off of you. I'm on drive." And we just had the best connection that you can have between 2 people. I mean, it was just instant. I mean, the Lord was on both of us, and we could have had a revival right there in my building. I'll be honest with you.
We did, man.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was really good. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And so then Dawson called me up because he was going to come to the conference, and he said, "Man, I want a lance in the middle, and I want regular standard frames, deep frames
on each side. Yeah, 10 on each side.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool, because what he's going to do is he's going to put his brood nest in the middle, right? And that ended up being how many frames, Dawson, for the middle?
Let's see, it was 10 on each side, and then I think there was 8 lands in the middle. I think is what it came out to.
Yeah. So that's a really good brood size, and then he can use either side for honey, which is
so I don't touch the lay-in frames. I never pull them out. I leave them like they are. I just work what's on the sides.
Right. Yeah. So that's a pretty innovative way. Now I will say that was a very difficult build. That lance sticks down below the regular horizontal, and we had to kind of frame it up. It had a really interesting look, and then we had the flip out supers. So it was a really interesting build. I do like stuff like that. Someone pushes it in a different direction, and that's what beekeeping, I think, at right now. There's a lot of innovation out there, trying to make things a little bit better, or how do we do this, or can we figure this out? And that's what we want, because it'll push the market forward. Because to me, beekeeping hadn't moved in 100 years. It seems like it's been the same old beekeeping for a long time. So
in a rectangle box.
In a rectangle box. Yep.
Yep.
Not trying to reinvent the mousetrap.
So the one thing, Ricky, that pushed me to send that design to you was from watching Jeff and watching Randy, where they do their cutouts. If you watch those bees, they'll tell you what they like. they'll show you every single time. And if you watch those videos, and whenever they cut out a ceiling, and you look at the way that hive is running, you see exactly the way that those bees want to, and you'll see the hive do just like that.
Yep.
Kind of like above Ricky's head.
Yeah, just like it.
Yep. That's what I started doing, was watching with Randy, and that's kind of what got me in that same mindset, Dawson. So
yeah. I've got another design, by the way. I've been holding back on giving it to you because I know when we were at the expo, you got inundated with orders. I know you did, and I'm not sure. It's what, July the 11th, and have you got caught up yet?
no.
No, I didn't think so. Hey,
No.
hey, have you heard from the Pennsylvania girls?
Oh man, no, I hadn't really heard. Actually, they did, because I was trying to get their stuff. They not only did they buy all those hives, I can't remember how many hives. Maybe you guys remember how many hives they bought. Out of the
5 or 7?
No, it was 9 or 10.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was saying it was,
That's right. They
9.
did come back for more.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or one of them.
she came back to make sure that she won the raffle.
Yeah.
That's right.
She was standing right there waiting around the corner if anybody signed
Yep.
up. She was
Yep.
jumping in.
That's
So
right.
But
wanted-
I know me and Dawson loaded up a bunch of hives for them, and then I
Yep.
think Ricky and Kevin went out there and
Kevin,
loaded a
yeah.
few more.
And they,
Yeah.
they rented a U-Haul to get them all up there. That's what was crazy about it. I mean, that was a huge sale there at the conference for me. So
Yeah.
that's right, Brian. So, but anyway, so yeah, they got a U-Haul and they took it, but she did make contact with me. I hadn't got all their, like, they wanted the jars like Melissa and Tom has.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Got that started up for me, and the clear inner covers. So there was some items that they didn't have inside those hives that I had to kind of work on. So
Okay.
anyway, let's get back to Philip and beat up on him some again. So this has been pretty good tonight. I get to go back and forth. So, unless Tom and Melissa wants to badger Phil a little bit.
You seem like you're doing a good job.
Oh, okay.
One thing I do
I'm here in the
is
law, I'm kind of the guy that's, got a channel that he doesn't show up for, So
Yeah, we did forget to
one thing I
mention.
gotta say is Lee, your weather got a little crazy and it came all the way up here to Michigan.
I aimed
you
my
need to
fan
come back and
north
get
and
it.
I turned it on high. I blew it up there too, y'all. Yeah. Whenever the stream started tonight, we did forget to introduce that other special guest, Tom and Melissa. One sitting right next to you over there.
Yep, I know, right?
Yeah.
He's right over this way.
Ricky texted the other day and said, "Who do y'all think we could have on for a special guest this week?" I said, "Well, I think we could have that Ricky Rourke guy on."
That's right.
So, Philip, tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel, because that thing is growing like a weed right now, and you've got all those subscribers and everything. So, just tell us, what made you think, hey, I want a YouTube channel, and did you ever think you'd end up with so many people watching you? That's the weird thing I think about having a channel. So,
Yeah, that is the weirdest thing in the world, is to think that people actually watch what you put out there.
Yep.
I started doing it just to kind of keep track of what I was doing at what time. But I always tell myself, hey, I got a face for radio. So I'm not in front of the camera much, but it's completely weird. I just started posting them just to keep track for myself. But it's, yeah. So I don't know where I even want to go with it. I kind of went with a month or two lull there where I didn't post any videos. I was doing some recordings. Just work got so busy. I literally, I came home, slept, woke back up, went right back to work. So I didn't even have time to work with my bees or nothing. But it was all of a sudden, like, I don't know, about 2 years ago, that it started picking up with subscribers on my channel. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And like I said, I don't I have no idea where they come from or anything. So it's just something
grows, though.
Yeah,
So have you had that person to come up yet and say, "Hey, you're that Phil guy, 33 miles, and I watch your channel." Have you had that to happen to you yet?
I've had one person. I was at the gas station here by me, and they're like, "Hey, you're that guy that does bees on YouTube." I'm like, "Oh, great!" So
you didn't know if he's going to hit you or not, did you?
Right? Yeah. And it's like kind of like one of those things. It's like you don't know what to say.
Exactly. But it does make you feel good when somebody finally recognizes you and say, "Hey, you're this, such and such beekeeper." And I know your video for the knobby really took off, so that definitely give you some viewership. People really seem to pick up
walkthrough I did there. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just did a short last week, which I actually didn't mean to post it public. I put it up because I was going to start playing with some of the editing features on YouTube to see what it was like. And it popped up as a short. And I'm like, okay, well, all of a sudden I got one comment. And I'm like, oh, crap. I left it as public. So, I mean, it's like the end of the video. I swear in the end of the video. And it was trying to do like a little short video of introducing a virgin queen. And I just looked at it earlier today, and it has over 31,000 views.
Wow.
And I got over 100 subscribers off of it. I'm like, where are these people coming from?
Yeah. Well, and Tom and Melissa, just so y'all know, because I know you just started your YouTube channel up, but it's weird. Is like you'll produce this video, and this is going to be the blockbuster video. Everybody's going to watch it, and it's going to be way up here, and it does nothing. And then you get something like Phil's right there and say, "Hey, what, I'm going to throw this out here, or don't throw it out there." And next thing you know, it's got all the views. And said, I don't know why anybody wants to watch it. It wasn't that good, So
yeah, it seems like the less editing you do to a video, the better and more popular they are for some reason. It's like
good to know that.
You sit there and like, oh, I'm going to edit this out and try and set up 2 cameras. And it's like, then all of a sudden, oh, I got like 30 views. And then another one where it's just like you literally just cut the beginning of it, cut the end of it, of the part of you shutting the camera off and turning it on and throw it up there, and it's like you'll get 300. So I haven't found any rhyme or reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I just video them, and I do my normal editing, and I send it out there, and it does what it does, right? So
Yep.
I just don't want people yelling at me. Every once in a while you get these people that, "Oh, you ain't doing that right. You shouldn't be doing this," and
Oh, that's what this short turned into that I put on there.
Oh, did
because I introduced a virgin into the front, and it cut off before you could actually see her going in. So I like turned away and I swore, and then everybody's like, "Oh, he either got stung or they killed her." I'm like, "No, I didn't get stung. It was just she started walking away from the entrance." So that's why I swore. So I just grabbed her and moved her and put her back, and she ran right in. But just the amount of, I want to say the amount of abuse that people try and give you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing that, and I take it with a grain of salt. If somebody wants to criticize me, that's part of being on YouTube. You just say, they have the right to say what they want to say as long as it's not super offensive. And that like I said, we all keep bees a little bit different. So, I try to be very friendly and nice about it. I know I do have some YouTube friends. I won't mention their names. They'll just delete those messages off. I leave them up because I think it's good criticism for people to see what's out there. So yeah, Philip was selling drama, man. That's what it is.
It's selling drama. Clickbait. It's clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait. Yeah. So, yeah, no doubt. So
and to answer David his question, hashtags do help. That I have noticed that they do really help. I know just putting a couple of them right in the title even helps too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, anybody, getting on the YouTube, and you can say, and Lee can say, it takes a while for your channel to take off. And, you feel like, well, why am I posting this stuff? It's a waste of time and nobody's watching it. it will finally take off, but it does take a little while for that to happen.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Part of
my
my
thing
problem
is-
is I forget to post stuff.
Yes, that's my problem too.
You got to post stuff and then people actually watch.
Yeah.
That's my problem too. Is it takes like I have so much footage on my phone, and then to put it all together and post it, it's a whole time
Yeah.
issue for me. And when I
like
do
my
sit down and
laptop
think
is
to do that.
I cannot add one more video to my laptop. It is full. So I gotta I get a memory card and or some
been
external
working on it.
memory.
I've been
Why you
working
need
on
a whole
video
bunch of them.
for probably
Yeah. Yep.
Whole bunch of SSDs,
yeah.
What is that,
Probably
Lee?
been working on the video for about 3
SSD
months,
hard drives.
2 months.
Okay.
Of Keith Spillman when I went down to visit him and show his stuff. And it was really cool seeing him and visiting with him, and had a great time with his wife. So I still have that video. I just get around to get it posted, and then I've got like 5 behind it. So it's just
And
tough.
then I get to the point that it's like, oh, I got 5. I'll just forget about those other 4, and I'll get the newest one. And it just
Bless you.
and all of a sudden it's like, well, why did I do those? And then I always feel like, well, I'm posting them out of sequence. So I'm like, I don't want to confuse people.
Yeah. And then, well, it is good to have a few for winter, because there ain't much going on there in the winter.
Yep.
Good time to do those videos and stuff and get them out. So,
Yep. And they can be long up here.
yeah. So, but, and I want to say tonight, we appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys are awesome to come and be with us and talk with us, make some good comments. We do appreciate that also. So Philip, how much honey you going to get this year, you think?
Oh, I'm hoping for over 2,500 pounds. Last year I got about 1,600, so I'm shooting for about 2,500.
Wow.
I average about 55 pounds a hive up here.
And where are you selling your honey at, Phil?
I'm at about 95%. All I have is just a stand little box out in front of my place at the end of the driveway, just an honor system. You just drop the money in the thing, grab a bottle, and probably 95% of what I sell is just out there. I've got a couple little stores that they have just a couple bottles. But yeah, I do everything right at the end of the driveway. I got a little security camera on it, and I restock it every couple days.
And I think that's a really cool way of doing your honey. And if somebody steals it, I say, well, I'll let the good Lord deal with them, right?
Right.
I don't have to, and maybe they needed it, right? So
yeah, that's how I always say, hey, they obviously needed it more than what I need it, so you know what, they can have it.
yeah.
Could they just at least leave me $1 for the bottle?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Listen,
I had one person that's kind of like, speaking of bottles, a couple weeks ago, I go walk out there to restock it. I'm like, what the heck is this? They dropped all their old bottles off. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay, well, can't use them again, but
yeah. Well, Caitlin's got a good question for you right there, Phil. He says, I've been thinking about doing that. Do you get much theft?
Of all the years that I've had it, I mean, knock on wood, I haven't had any monetary stolen. I would probably say 3 or 4 bottles total over all the years. It's very, very minimal. I got a little sign on there that says, please smile for the camera. So they can turn around and look and see, oh, hey, I'm on the camera. So
I was about to say that, and it's kind of like beekeeping, location. Depends on where you're at, how much stuff you might get or might not get.
yeah. Yep. I'm far enough away from a lot of that stuff around here. It's pretty
Hood Bill.
pretty countryish.
Yeah.
So
Dawson, how do you end up selling your honey? Do you guys just consume all yours, or do you sell?
No, we don't. No, we don't consume all ours. I'd be a diabetic if I did. We have a lot of family that appreciate whenever we pull honey. We got a lot of friends that we are involved with church and some of our other organizations that we were involved with, and it starts getting about April or May, and they're all like, "Are you going to pull honey? You about ready to pull honey?"
Yeah.
So, but no, we got a really good customer base as far as that goes. Just our close friends and family.
For the most part, I don't think I've ever had a hard time getting rid of my honey. It
Oh,
usually
no.
sells really quickly. So.
I have threatened to put mine in the contest up there at the expo because everybody, and I mean, since we started pulling honey, everybody says that's the best honey I've ever had.
Right.
I don't know if they're just saying it because I got, they're my friend or what. That's why I want to put it in the
real honey.
Hey. But that's why I want to put it in the contest at the expo and let a judge say.
Yeah.
And then my price of honey can go up because now it's award winning, right?
That's right.
There you
Absolutely.
That's marketing right there, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
I sell most of my honey at work where I work at GE, and it goes faster than I can. It seems like the bees can bring it in, so it's a good problem to have, right? So
Well, that's what I'm looking at as far as like honey sales. I've went through a 325 bottle box, ordered another one, and probably ain't gonna be long go through order another one.
Wow.
Because I'm supplying the two little one farmer's market right down the road from me, but that lady opened up a second market in Baton Rouge. So I'm supplying both of them now.
Wow.
And then the two little stores here, they get a case every now and then.
So everybody bottle their honey up because it is the time of year that we're doing that. You have a bottle machine, Lee? Did you get that bottle machine at the expo?
Nah, I got that. Heck, I think it was 2020 or 21. I got that right after I started bees. I got the 16-gallon max scent, but I keep, instead of bottling a whole bunch at a time, taking a chance of it crystallizing, I keep it all in 5-gallon buckets. And then whenever it's getting low, I'll pour another bucket in there and let it warm up, make sure everything's decrystallized.
We do the same thing.
Is that what you guys do too? So what about you?
I got that bottling, that Hilco bottler. I got that, and then I still just use it 5-gallon buckets. I'm gonna get a heated bottling tank this coming year at Nobby though. So
that worked out really good because I really wanted to buy one of those.
It's unbelievable. I wish I would have got one a long time ago, but I know they're like Bob Walker, he paid I think like $1,500 or something for his, and but yeah, now I would say they're worth it, yes. And I see he just come out with XL or something, a new model with a bigger pump on it. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, Melissa, I'm gonna be like Tom. I'm gonna be going at the next expo.
Oh yeah, Tom did that this year.
Dawson, how do you bottle your honey?
I go, so when it comes out of the extractor, it goes through the screens, through the filters, and then into the 5-gallon bucket. And then once we get that 5-gallon bucket full, we'll set it up on the counter and start going straight out of the bottom of the bucket.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I do it right now, but something's going to have to change because it's
and that's where I'm at too. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. It's going depending on how everything goes. I might go ahead and get one of those bottle fillers this year or next year. I'm sorry, in January.
Yeah, doing just a little valve on there with through 1,000 pounds of honey, it gets old and messy really fast.
Yeah.
The dripless valve, the heated water jacketed bottling tanks that we have with the dripless valve, like I think those work great. Like those are amazing. We have 3 max scent ones. We do have the speed fill, but I'm planning on using that for my creamed honey, just to fill jars easier with the creamed honey. But the way that we store and extract, we're going to do that a little bit different this year. I guess we're going to kind of do similar to what Mr. Ed does. where he puts all of his honey in the drums and lets the cappings kind of come to the top, and then extract them from there. And then after that, whether we leave it in those drums or I guess is what your idea is, or are you wanting to put them into 5-gallon buckets after that?
Probably 5-gallon buckets.
So we'll probably use that speed fill to fill those 5-gallon buckets. You know,
As much honey as you guys will get off, you'll be selling 55-gallon drums.
What's that?
As much honey as you guys are going to be getting off, you'll sell 55-gallon drums, won't you?
All the honey that I produce is for sale. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you will put it in those bourbon barrels, you talk about making some money. I think you could do that, brother.
Yep. I've got 4 of them. So we're getting ready to start 2.
I've heard of people doing that. I've heard of people
Say that
doing that.
Yeah.
He's heard a lot of people doing that. Yeah, no doubt. So, what size are those drums, though, Tom? They 30-gallon?
No. Originally we used that 15-gallon, and I couldn't.
No. The drums that we're gonna put the honey in, or the
For the bourbon.
bourbon barrel.
Yeah, the bourbon barrels.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, before I got rudely interrupted, guys. She has an attitude problem, guys. We're going to talk about this.
Oh, my word.
I mean, part of it,
Finish your story.
And no disrespect to Miss Ruth, because I love her to death, but she is Hispanic. She got a little caliente in her.
You know? Spicy. Yeah.
Muy spicy.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. So after I was so rudely interrupted, yes. We originally had them in a 15-gallon barrel, but I couldn't find any more. And those are really hard to come by. They're nice because they're easy, manageable, and they're smaller. But I had that friend of mine build me another one, and I sized up a 55-gallon bourbon barrel on there, and it works just the same. So what I'm going to do is set them up in one spot, and I'm just going to pump the honey into there. And whenever I'm ready to dump it out, I'll just have to, spin the bunghole down and put my 5-gallon bucket under there. And then I'll go straight from there down to my bottling tank. Or Melissa said I could run a line downstairs where my bottling tank is and just pump it straight from there down into the tank. And I'm like, that seems reasonable too. So maybe I don't have to pick any of that stuff up. So I'm going to do two barrels here really soon. And then
he's been saying that for the last 4 weeks. So I'm gonna put that out there.
Somebody has kept me so busy, guys. I'm trying to landscape, work 170 colonies, and do cutouts, as well as all the volunteer stuff that we've done. I mean, I'm thinking she's trying to work me to death here. And my life insurance policy is not that huge,
but it's paid up.
Well, the one that you know of.
Yeah, Melissa,
that's true. That is true. Maybe I need to do some digging, huh?
Melissa, what time does he come home?
Not usually until late.
It don't get dark till 8:30, Tom.
Every day.
Not every day.
We're pretty much every day.
Yeah. Whenever we do the cutout, she does work. She does work with me.
Yeah.
Kind of. She does.
I run the camera, Most important.
She runs the show.
I run the show.
Yeah.
I make sure he stays on point.
There you go.
Right.
It's important.
Very important. Yeah.
Someone's got to do it. That's the hard work.
So, Dawson, how much does your wife help you in your bees?
Every time we extract, she's there. I check the bees probably 85% more than her.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever it comes time to pull, she's right there. She's always right by my side every time we pull. But as far as maintaining, I do most all of the maintaining.
What about you, Philip? Does your family help you with your beekeeping?
Nope.
You sound like me.
Yeah, you and Lee are hand in hand here.
Yeah.
I got help one time, and that was the last time.
Well,
Once
you
in a
did
while,
get her stung, Lee. That's the problem. You did get her stung, just so everybody knows.
We got out the truck, and she didn't even have a suit on yet. I walked over to the bees without a suit, and she was still out by the truck and got hit 3 times, and then ended up taking a 4th one. She wasn't happy.
Yeah. Once in a great while, my dad, he'll help me with a couple things like driving front end loader, pick me up with the forks, go get a swarm or something. But yeah, my kid, he's the typical can't get him away from the video game. So
Phil Morrison said his wife helps him count the money. That's pretty good. So, yeah, it does have.
I just want to let Tom Mack know that I did see a few nice ones down when we visited Mr. Ed. So, and coffins he's talking about. I did see a few nice ones when we went and visited Mr. Ed down at the what is it?
The Abbey.
The Abbey.
Thank you. Down at the Abbey. Yes.
Hey, Tom, don't let Melissa hear this, but spend all that money so she can't buy one.
They're quite affordable.
That's right. Hey, whenever I'm dead and gone, you don't have to be fancy with the casket for me. It doesn't matter much.
Just cremate you and bury you in a Hive box, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. I honestly won't have an opinion. I will not have an opinion. Imagine that, huh?
Community.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But it does make a difference when you have people that help you with your beekeeping. Ruth used to help me a lot, and everybody knows she's kind of went anaphylactic shock a few times now. So, but it's been very nice having Amber with me. And, the last time we moved the beehives up on the Sourwood, we got up at 4:00 in the morning, and Amber got up with me, and she did sleep on the way there, and I unloaded the first hive by myself while she slept, and then she did help me set up the next 4 hives. So it's very helpful just having someone hold the hive or hold your hive tool or even shoot a video. Any of that stuff is so helpful.
That's what I told Renee. That's what I told Renee. As far as just walking out there by yourself, you kind of get bored every now and then, and I mean, it feels more like a job when you're out there doing it by yourself.
Yes.
Versus somebody there helping you, talking to you, just shooting the bull and everything and passing time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially when it's 500 million degrees and 300% humidity.
Yeah.
Now, Ricky, I had a question. You were talking about Amber helping you. How's that puppy doing?
That's what I was just going to ask too. Is it still worth the puppy?
Well, I did ask her that same question, Philip. I said, if you didn't get that puppy, you would have to do this. And she made the comment, well, I kind of like working in the bees now. So it has been a heaven sent thing that she got the dog, and that was part of what she had to do. So, but yeah, she does like to get in the bees now, and the puppy's doing great. If you remember, it's about the size of my hand, and now she's like this. She's pretty big, and I've actually got my sister's dog with me right now because they're at the beach, and they do a lot of playing together. And I will say that she got bee stung the other day, and we actually did have to give her a Benadryl, the dog, because her paw had swelled up so big. It surprised me how big she swelled up. So I've never knew you could give a dog a Benadryl pill, but she did pretty good with it. So
yeah. I think the scariest I've been with a bee sting is I had a couple of guys working with me, and we were digging a swimming pool and got into a nest of yellow jackets, and he got hit like right there on that vein in his arm, and I knew he got stung. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. We get stung, and so he comes up out of the pool and he comes over to me and he's looking at me, and his face is like, and I was like, whoa. And he says, Dawson, he said, my lips are bzz. And I said, what? And he goes, my lips are bzz. And I was like, what is he trying to say? And then I was like, I get it. His lips are tingling. Yeah. And I was like, holy smokes, dude, you are hurting. And, you know, in that spot on his arm, I mean, I looked and it hit him right in that vein. It had straight lined him. So I ran up and got some Benadryl, and we got Benadryl in real quick. And 30 minutes later, man, he was fine. He was face back to normal. But man, that's scary where you see a guy that's typically really skinny, a Latino, typically, you know, skinny, and his face looks like my face. That's scary.
Yeah, we did have my sister's brought her boyfriend up here, and he's Hispanic, and I got him out in the bee yard. Well, he didn't have no gloves on. We couldn't find the gloves, and I told him to keep his hands in the pocket. Well, we got in the hive, and the bees kind of, when you pop the inner cover, they kind of blew up. And the first thing he did was swat at him.
Yeah.
And, he got stung 3 or 4 times. I kept asking him, I said, did you get stung? He's like, no, I didn't get stung. And a few minutes later, he said, hey, I'm going in the house. And when I got in the house, he had like 6 or 7 stings in his hand, and it was like going up his arm. And I'm like, what are we going to do? You know, he's allergic. So, but I guess he'll learn not to swing at him next time, you know, but he didn't have a glove on. So, anyway.
So let me tell you what I did the other day, Ricky. This was this was so rookie. So I'm 6 years into this, and I still make rookie mistakes. So the what do you call it? The nukes that I bought. So you know they had filled out that bottom box. They were ready for another box. So I was like, you know, I'm just gonna do this real quick. All these hives that are at my house, they're the Hive IQ. So they go together really quick, really easy. So I went down there, didn't have my suit on, no gloves, no nothing. And I was like, you know, no smoker. And I was like, you know, 10 seconds max. And I'm just I'm gonna pop the top, throw that box on, put the top back on, done. They won't even mess with me.
Right.
I text you and I text Lee, and you know what happened? They tore me up, buddy. Just the bees don't know me, you know, they're not used to me. And of course I didn't go down there with any smoke, and so I popped that top, man, and here they come right in my face, and they tore my head up, buddy. The guy that works with me is laughing his butt off.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Philip, have you ever done anything dumb in your bee yard and got lit up like that, or?
Not in a bee yard, but I did try catching a swarm one time and shake them while it was raining. Ooh. And all I had on was just a veil. So yeah, I stopped counting at 50 stings.
Wow.
So that was, I learned real quick not to go get them in the rain, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like,
not in the rain.
Oh, they're all clustered together, so it's gonna be easy to drop them in the box and just get out of there. Nope.
Nope.
Rain, or if it's overcast and got that little breeze blowing, they ain't happy.
Yeah.
Now DC was asking, was everybody's sting record?
Yeah.
I think the most
being on a zero turn though, hitting your head on a black bald-faced hornet nest.
Yeah.
I think about the most I've taken is between 70 and 75, and that was taking some out of a house.
At one time?
At one time. They had like
Holy
I say at one time during the process of taking bees out over about an hour or so.
Yeah.
But I was taking bees out of a house. They had like a fake window in the bathroom. Instead of putting the glass blocks in, they just walled it off on the inside and left it hollow on the outside and put a piece of plywood over it. Well, they built all in behind that. And I went in there, went up to them. They acted fine. I kind of reached up there, touched them. They were fine. So I started, all I did was put just a veil on eventually at first. I started with nothing. And as I started taking the wood off, they started popping me in the head and the neck. So I put a veil on. Then they went to my chest and my arms, and I ended up with the whole jacket on. And it was hot that day.
Yeah. Early in my career, I made a very, very rookie mistake, but that was my first bees that I'd ever had. You know how you got to get used to the bees being around your head with your veil on, and I wasn't used to it, and so those jokers came out and they started getting, you know, just flying around me, and I had my hive tool in my hand, and I just waved like that right there across my face, and just got me a pretty little cut right there. Sent my wife a picture, and I said things not to do.
Yeah, that's right. So, Phil, do you take bee stings like Randy McCaffrey? Do you take them pretty good? They don't really bug you, or?
Yeah, I do find the only time that they actually bother me is if they get like right around my eye, either my eyes, and I'll swell up. But anywhere else, I don't swell up at all anymore.
Yeah.
So,
That's me. I've got a hit on the lip, on the cheek, and it's no problem. But if they catch me right in the eyebrow, my whole eye swells shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think hopefully Bob Barker will beat me up for this, but well, the day that I went down there at his place and he had his suspenders on, his red shirt, long sleeves, and he said, "I don't use smoke," and he's there and he kept getting lit up, and man, you could see him grit his teeth, and he just keep going and just keep going, and he's like, I think I will like the smoker. I bet he took 30 stings that day. But, he sat there and took every one of them. I couldn't believe it. So I think the one that finally got him, he kind of walked off. One had stung him right around the nipple area, and he couldn't take it. He said, "I'm going to walk over here just for a second." So,
that's tender, man. Ooh,
yeah,
that's tender.
Yeah, but I was impressed, man. Bob Walker can take some stings, man. He didn't let it get to him at all. So, hey, Larry, it's good seeing you tonight, brother. So anyway, anybody else out there want to tell how many times is the most they got stung? So
I don't know that I ever counted when I got stung a bunch, but it was Tom's fault. So
see. Tom.
I'm telling you, I'm just a punching bag. You know that, Ricky?
Yes. Yeah, I know how you feel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, some of the other rookie mistakes that I've done is because I started kind of YouTube learning myself, and I found Randy, and I'm like, oh, he can do it without a veil on or nothing. So that whole first year, I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'm getting nailed left and right on the face, and I'm like, there's no way he can do it.
Yeah.
So finally I did, and I got a veil, and then after that, I did that for a couple of years, and then I'm like, I'm getting tired of just getting stung all over. So I finally graduated with a jacket. So yeah. That whole first year I had him, I'm like, how in the heck is he doing this without a veil or nothing on?
Right.
I've had times I've been able to get into some of my bees without a veil or anything, but that's usually when they're a single deep and they're just starting to build up. But as Ricky, once my hives get a little bigger, they can be testy.
Yeah. Early spring, right when the flow starts, I can get into them without anything on. And then my queen mating boxes, I can go in them anytime, and they don't mind. I can go in there without no veil or anything on, but everything else, especially this time of the year, no way.
No, right now when you pull that honey, you better be suited up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
They're gonna fight you for that honey.
My face and my head is just like the no-go zone. Like I'll go and get the bees without any other protection on, but I have to have a veil on.
Yeah, that's smart.
I was up there with Greg Burns, and he showed me his bee yard and stuff, and I was wanting to get some queens off of him, but they weren't quite ready yet. But he was taking a few stings on his arms, and it don't really bug him. And then he got stung right in the eyebrow. And this bee is just working her way around and around. And I'm gritting my teeth. And he's just talking like we're talking right now. Just having a good conversation. And this bee is going around and around his eyebrow. And I'm like, oh, I got it. You got a bee right there. Yeah, she'll be all right. She'll get out in just a second. I'm like, oh, but I can't take it. It's like someone scratching a chalkboard. You know what I'm saying? And then, she finally did pull loose and she fell off. And he's sitting there talking to me, and I can see the sack just pulsing. Hey, can I, if you don't mind, can I get that stinger for you? Sure, go ahead. Good time.
I want to know, has anybody on here ever been stung in the eyeball? I mean, directly in the eyeball.
I came close. This was about a month ago. I actually had to go to an ophthalmologist. It stung me on the eyelid, and it went through the eyelid.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Mm.
And that's one of the reasons why I always wear a veil too. That's like my biggest fear is getting stung in the eye.
Yeah.
But mine, I wasn't even going through the bees or nothing. I was just walking across the yard.
Wow.
So
I had one go down in my ear canal and sting me. Of course, it went in head first, and so it's not going to back out. It's already stung me, and I'm freaking out. I'm telling Sandra, I was like, "You got to do something. You got to get this thing out." And so the only thing there was to do then was just put your finger on it and crush it, and then try and work it out. But that was on the first package, the package that she had won at the introduction. That was the package, because I had watched Skinny Bee Man, and I had watched Jeff Horshaw, and I was like, you know what? I don't need a suit. I can do this. We do the sugar, spray them with the sugar water. We get the smoker out. Everything's cool. Just as soon as I took that feeder can off, right in my face, all on my head, stung me all over the face, went down in my ear. I'm freaking out. Sandra's sitting there videoing, and the first thing I do is grab the phone and pull the phone away from her, and I was like, "Get this bee out of my ear." We're not videoing anymore. No evidence.
Don't feel like it's in your ear. Feel like it's in your brain by that time.
Oh my gosh, man, that's terrible.
Well, that's part of the problem with that one lady. I guess she's in Texas, that's always doing TikToks and Instagram with her hair flowing and doing the bees with absolutely zero protection on. I'm like, there would be bees all stuck in my hair if I went out to my hives without.
They would be here. They would be here.
Well, I got one as I was doing
those and think that that's how you can take care of bees. I'm like, that is not real. Those are set up poses.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Studio bees.
I can say that the worst place that I've been stung was I was doing a video last year, and right at the end I had to cut it short because I had some jeans on that had some holes in it. Well, one found its way all the way up. Yeah, it got me right on the berries.
Oh boy!
I don't know how these guys do it with shorts. I don't know.
The worst day ever.
Even when I wear my Carhartt Duluth whatever jeans outside, I usually roll my jeans over and put my socks over my jeans so that the bees can't crawl up my pant legs, because they're constantly crawling up my pant legs.
Well, there was a gal this spring that had recently gotten bees, and she was made a post and said something about, hey, she doesn't wear protection, that her bees know her, and that she's convinced if she treats them right, that they'll treat her right. And I'm like, knock yourself out. I'm like,
you
just
tell
better be
how that
tough.
goes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't ask her, because I'm not one to tell somebody what to do. I'll let them learn that lesson, the hard way. Maybe she still does it. I don't know. Maybe she's tougher than I am. I'm not interested in getting stung above the neck. So, whatever.
No, Phil, let me go back to the eye thing. When you went to the eye doctor, what did he say if you had got stung in your eye? Would it actually put your eye out?
Yeah.
No, it's that because actually part of the stinger actually broke off and it was stuck between my eyelid and my eyeball. And he said it would have. It swelled my eye shut. So of course they're in there, they're pulling my eyelid up. And he said that over a very short time, it would, he said your eyeball, I guess, is the fastest healing part of your body.
Yep.
And it would heal over top of it. And then he said, then you would have to actually have it drilled out.
Oh my God.
So they'd have to go in there to be able to get it out. But he said it would turn into an infection.
Wow.
So I'm not an eye doctor either, but I scratched the lens of my eye a couple times working. And if I remember correctly, the eye doctor told me that the lens of your eye replaces itself every 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
He said, he told me about 36 hours. He said it would be completely
Okay.
like covered.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Your eyes and your mouth heal the fastest.
so.
Well, I think I'll just keep my bee suit on, and I'm not going to try to put my eye on or not. So.
Let's not
Yeah.
experiment with this.
Yes.
Yeah, for real.
Nobody in the chat. We don't want nobody experimenting. Don't get bee stung in the eye. We don't want to know. So.
Yeah, Ricky,
No.
next time y'all come by here, we'll have to make sure to give Miss Ruth a bee suit as well.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea next time.
Yeah, great idea.
Yeah. So.
Poor Ruth.
Yeah, me and Ricky standing out there looking at the bees in a suit, and she's standing out front videoing us with nothing on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always the innocent that get attacked,
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
So, Dawson, if you had to go back when you first started beekeeping, tell me some things you would have changed as a new beekeeper. The knowledge you have now, just go back.
Let's see. What would I change? I wouldn't have spent. I know this is going to be a little controversial. I wouldn't have spent quite so much money on treatments because I don't treat my bees.
Okay.
And they're really healthy and they make it through. I mean, they rotate year after year. So the ones at the farm I've built up, and they're pretty stout and resistant. They're pretty strong, and I do the same thing with the ones here at the house. But I don't know. I feel like that whenever it's kind of like taking antibiotics all the time. You're weakening. This is just my opinion.
Right.
You're weakening your immune system, and you're not going to be able to be dependent, or you become dependent. You can't fight off certain things. But that's the only thing that I wouldn't have spent so much money on treatments. I love what I have. I've got quite a few Affirmate boxes. I spent a little bit of money on that, and then now I've got Hive IQ, and I've got a lot of woodenware for sale right now.
What about you, Phil? What would you have changed? If you could go back and start beekeeping again.
Get a mentor. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That don't rely 100% on YouTube videos and learning. Hey, I'll say it. I don't mind. I didn't say don't rely 100% on videos if you're trying to figure out something on what to do or anything like that, like a method or anything. But yeah, definitely get a mentor. They can guide you along. They can answer your dumb questions. And
right.
And there's no such thing as a dumb question, but you do see some dumb questions.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Tom and Melissa? If you had to go back, what would you change with your beekeeping when you first started?
I wouldn't listen to Melissa.
Hey, it's kind of getting dark in your house, just so you know, Tom. So
it is.
Can you tell? Can you tell?
The electric is still not on. So
I was just thinking I probably need to go find a flashlight soon.
We're going by candlelight here.
We're going. No, there's no candle. We're going by laptop light.
Hey, Ricky, when we get to the Slidell conference, Tom and
Yeah.
Melissa's going to be parking in the handicap spot for Tom.
The left.
Are you saying she's going to break my leg?
It's a good possibility.
I'm just going to say the laptop's down to 22% battery remaining. So we might have to, if this dies, I might have to switch to my iPad.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Tom.
Let's see.
I'm good. I understand where this is I'm going. So I'm going to be going to a good place. I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm. What would we change? What would you change?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I would change anything.
Wow.
I'm pretty content. I don't, and here's the thing for me anyway. I don't mind. Well, I do, but after the fact, I don't mind failures. When I experience one, I'm disappointed with myself. I'm like, I could have done better. I could have fixed something. What could I have changed? But after you reflect on that just for a minute, I usually will take those failures, and then that's when I make a solid change. Because Melissa and I will always reflect back on what we had done. That doesn't have to be just for the season. It could be just on something that we had done. I'm like, when I sit there and kind of analyze it afterwards, I'm like, we should have done this differently, and this is how I would have done it. And most of the time, believe it or not, Melissa and I pick on each other all the time. Obviously,
You guys never would have guessed that, right?
We do.
No.
But Melissa really well. I mean, Melissa and I do not fight. I mean, we pick on each other, and that's what we do, and it's good fun for us, and that's how we work. That's how we roll. But her and I usually will come together on things pretty quickly. There's times where I'm like, no, I disagree. I'm like, nope, you're wrong. Disagree. And then it gets to the point where it's like, you know what? You go down to the other end of the hives. You guys you work down there, and I'll work down here. You do what you want down there, and I'm doing what I want over here, right? My screen just dimmed a little bit because it's saying the battery life is low. So anyway, I said a lot just to say, I don't know if I would change anything, to be really honest.
That's awesome.
I don't know. I'll take the failures. I don't want to, but after the fact, I kind of reflect on them, and that's when I make my changes. So,
That's
I
your
just
best
always
experience.
like Dawson mentioned earlier, those bees will humble us very quickly. Just when we think we have it figured out, and even people who do a lot of research will be like, this is the God's honest truth, and this is the gospel. And you're like, yep, okay. And then give it a couple years, and you're like, well, we've actually found this, and it's not what they said, right? Because there's a greater power at work here. Just when we think we're managing the bees, they're managing us.
That's right.
But I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have it any other way, because I think there are so many challenges with beekeeping, and there's a lot of frustrations that come from that. But at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing. It brings a lot of good things together and people. So
I agree with that.
My answer is I don't at this point. I wouldn't change anything. So
We kind of always, since we began, purposely did a lot of experimentation, though.
Yeah.
To kind of like, okay, let's play around with this. Let's play around with that. It was never like, oh my God, we're doing this wrong, or we purposely did things because we wanted to see how things would work out.
Yeah.
So I think that was really great, because we could really find how we wanted to do things, and kind of work our way up to where we are now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, no, it's good. We really enjoy it. We most of the time we get along with everything when it comes to that, and we're pretty on spot, with that. What's going to be really kind of funny is sometimes JW is poking around. It says we're always going out to eat somewhere or what have you. Melissa will say something. Well, she'll be like, I was thinking about. I really wanted to go to what's the crab shack place we just went to?
I don't know. Storming Crab.
We went to the Storming Crab and had lunch the other day. We were really wanting some crab legs and some boiled potatoes and all that good stuff along with it.
We were out that way doing.
And then we were out that way, and I'm like, she said something about wanting, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, the end of last week, I'm like, that's what I wanted too. And I'm like, I've been thinking about that meal, right? And I'm like, we're going there. So we went and did some, I can't remember now, were we even doing that day?
We were doing inspections.
Okay, cut out inspections or what have you. And I'm like, we're gonna go eat there today. So that's when I made my silly post.
We do eat out way too much, though.
So
JW is right.
Yeah.
Well,
So Lee, what about you, man? What would you change up?
Probably expand into out yards as soon as I did. With my busy work schedule, at the time I wasn't quite as busy, and I wanted more bees than just in my yard. I wanted to try to find some out yards. That way, when I did grow more colonies, I'd have somewhere to put them. Well, going down to the farmer's market, people asking, hey, do you ever look for places to put bees? So I told them, yeah. Well, next thing you know, I got 4 different yards. And then I start working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Like by the time I get home, I don't have time to visit 4 yards.
You don't
I've
want
been
to.
slowly trying to move everything back to my home yard. That way I just handle what I got here. If I
Yeah.
get to the point now that I do need out yards, hopefully, if I ever do it, I would be more kind of full-time beekeeping. But other than that, I just want to keep the stuff in my yard, deal with what I got here. And then if you grow later, look for out yards.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, if you could get some out yards and have them take care of your bees, Lee, that would be good for you.
That would be nice.
Yeah. What about
I'll
Ricky?
say that every out yard is not a good out yard either. You know,
Yeah.
we've had some before that we end up pulling them back from an out yard where, like, for whatever reason, we just didn't like it. You know, maybe it was just off the beaten path, or it didn't produce well, or just had problems out there, and nothing catastrophic, but you know, every out yard is not a good one. So
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
2 of my out yards, they were within 5 to 10 minutes of me. But my 4th out yard, it'd take probably about 30 minutes to get there.
yeah, that would be a
And
pain.
yeah, that was a pain having to go all the way out there. And that's the first yard that I moved back home.
That would probably be the first yard that you would neglect too, because knowing that you have to drive 30 minutes out, 30 minutes back,
Yeah.
that's at least
Yeah.
1 hour of your whatever day you have left.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so,
And by the time I get in, I ain't got much of a day left,
right, Yeah.
physically or mentally.
right.
Now, I
Yeah.
heard Dawson there a second ago because Ricky been asking us that question. Dawson, I believe, was asking Ricky what would he change.
I would change everything. I'm totally opposite of Tom because I made so many mistakes. And don't get me wrong, Tom, I learned from all of them.
Okay.
But if somebody can make a mistake, I made it. It just seems like I wish I'd done 8 frame instead of 10. I wish I had a mentor. I wish, like Phil, I wish I hadn't watched so much YouTube. And you know, I thought I'd do this and this would work good and that. And it just, I don't know. I experimented too much when I first started. That's something that I should have done, like where I'm at now. What's going on, Paul? It's good seeing you, brother.
Paul.
So, you know, for
Hey,
me, I wish I had that. I think that mentor, like Phil had talked about, I think that really would have stabilized me and got me going on the right path. Probably that was the biggest mistake, not having somebody. And at that time, and I'm like Dave here, you know, I started beekeeping, you know, right around the COVID time, you know, before COVID. So everything shut down. You didn't have nobody to talk to. The bee association that we was with was shut down. So, you know, it just, people didn't want to come and help, and I didn't know anybody to talk to, you know. So my biggest friend was Randy McCaffrey, and he didn't even know who I was, you know. So,
You wouldn't have put that one house so close to that tree too, right, Ricky?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, the one that's right.
I wasn't calling you out or anything, brother. That just popped in my memory.
Mistakes after mistakes. I'll just put it that way.
Mhm.
So I made all of them. So
Hey, Ricky, it is okay to make a mistake. The same thing I tell my kids. I'm like, you can make a mistake. You are allowed to do that, but you better learn from it, right?
Yep.
well, I do some of that, Tom.
You sound like me. You learn from some of them. Some of them we have trouble with, huh?
Now Ricky's like, we're getting in a little soft area here.
Well, see, I've gotten to be an older beekeeper, and I think I forgot some of that earlier stuff
Yeah.
that I didn't
Yeah.
work, and I'm trying some of that stuff again. That's stupid stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you talking about older. I don't think I've ever even actually asked you. How old are you, Ricky?
Oh no,
Mm.
gosh!
Mm.
I hope Bruce not on there. She'll answer for me. So,
We should all guess. We should all guess
We're
how old
supposed-
Ricky is.
yeah,
Wait,
go ahead and
wait.
guess and see what you can figure out.
Are we guessing
My
mentally
guess-
or physically?
Mentally, I feel this, and then you
Phil,
can say
go ahead and
how
answer
old,
both.
how old is he? So,
Hey,
I'm
Phil,
pretty
I
sure
wanna hear
Ricky-
your answer to both of those.
I'm pretty sure Ricky's 42.
Yeah, that's
I was
Fair
going to say
guess.
43.
John's 432, so that's not good.
Wow, you're really old.
I shoot 41.
What do you want?
I would say around 45.
Ooh.
Somebody got it right. Somebody got it right.
432.
Methuselah.
You're going to get a black eye.
He's not Moses for crying out loud.
Hello.
And so here is how old I am. She got it right.
47. Okay.
47.
Okay.
So I think the
Must be
episode,
dyeing that beard a little bit.
Yeah. It's
I need to.
Get some white in it.
Have y'all ever noticed how perfect Ricky's beard is?
Yeah, but look at Lee's. He's got that pretty gray look for that little
Oh,
white
yeah.
right there.
Yeah, you see right there. He's got that right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got that.
And Lee's younger than both of us.
Yeah. How old is Lee?
I'll be 40. I think 46 come September.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll just look older.
Yeah, I think the last time I told y'all, maybe I had mentioned how old I was, or I said I told somebody. And next thing you know, my wife's correcting me. She's like, "You're not 46, you're 47 now." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay, you sound like me and Renee now. She has literally called me at work to ask how old she was. And then the year she turned 40, she argued all of us up and down. I'm 39 years old. I know how dang old I am. I had asked her, what year were you born? She's like, 83. I'm like, yeah, it's 2023 now. You're 40.
Yep.
She thought she was 39.
yeah.
Forever
Paul,
21.
they have those youth pools in Mexico and those, hot springs and stuff. They dip you in and you come out, and
That's what it
like
is.
JW says right here, you turn 19. So see,
Yeah. That's what it is.
I remember my dad's last birthday. We had a birthday cake and had 72 on it, and he grabbed the 7, put on the other side. He said he was 27.
Now Ruth's saying I'm 46. She told me the other day I was 47. So now she's messing with my mind. Oh Lord.
That's not good when we rely on our spouses to tell us how old we are, because I forget too.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Tom. You can't rely on a man, I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we were talking about the other day as far as age. We look back at our grandparents or great grandparents like, man, y'all were born before the turn of the century. And now we look at, we're going to have grandkids saying the same thing about us.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, we were born in the 1900s.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Golly.
Can't see it. She just sent me a
Can't
message.
see it.
You're 46. Yeah, I'm like Jonathan. I lost count after 30. That's absolutely, Jonathan, you're absolutely right about that.
All downhill from there, right?
Yep, that's right.
Now, I was laughing a while ago. Tom and Melissa was talking about how they always picking with each other or picking on each other. Me and Renee do the same thing. Well, she had a little young girl working down at the cafe with her. And every time I'd go down there, that girl would be at the window. I'd ask her, you getting any work out of Renee today, or she'd being lazy again? That, or I'll call Renee at work and say, what are you doing, sitting around? She's like, yeah, probably so, but you're sleeping at work. And we pick on each other so much. The little girl finally asked Renee one day, do y'all really like each other? I was like, yeah, we just pick with each other a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
right,
wow.
So I'm going to log off of here because I think we've got like 11% battery, and then enter through my iPad. So
You got my account on your iPad too, huh? Or are you gonna have to come in on the link?
Through the link, yeah.
Okay. There you are. I'll let you back in on that one.
So I'm gonna leave this one.
Quick log on.
Uh-oh.
I muted the other one.
You gotta love a wife, I tell you.
Hey, look who else we got down here.
Yeah, got Spanky in the house finally.
Thank you.
Spanky.
How you doing, bud?
Doing all
Man, I can't even see myself.
I know we're really in the dark.
Blair Witch Project, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's good. I'll just hold my hand like this, like the rest of the time we're on.
Here, shine the light above my head.
So if anybody doesn't know, Tom and Melissa have no power right now, so they are doing everything they can to stay on this live chat tonight.
Dedication.
I told her all she has to do is pay the electric bill, pay the electric company money, and they keep it on for us. She didn't listen to me.
Tom
She
spends
spent
all your
her
money,
on
Melissa. You ain't got none.
We don't have any money left for the electric bill.
Yeah, that's it.
You got to feed that hamster in the little wheel to keep the power on.
Turn that off.
I'm working
It's
on it.
echoing.
Oh my word.
We got an echo back here. Does everything sound good from your guys' side?
Yeah.
I'm good here.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think we're good now.
Who's selling colonies, Bob?
I have to go pick
I
up
saw-
4 colonies tomorrow morning.
Who's
I saw
selling them
some
and where they
local
coming from?
here. I saw some local around here, and they were like $300,
Oh wow!
$300 or $400.
This time of the year, $300. Goodness gracious.
Seriously, I'm just in the wrong business.
Yeah.
Now, is that just for like a 5 frame or is that 10 frame with the box?
I believe it was 10 frame with a box. I believe.
I think Bob Denny had sold some for $300, and they were double deeps for $300.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably in the spring too, which that's a different
Yeah, it
story.
was spring. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Little bit
Well,
different
ones I got
value
back
after
in
the
the-
summer solstice.
Yeah. Those ones I got
I
back
thought
in the
about-
spring was 30. I paid 170 each.
Yeah. I thought about getting on Bob's waiting list, but I don't know, man. Bob's bees are really, really good, and I'm not sure I can handle really, really good bees. I'm afraid of getting spoiled on really, really good bees.
$1.50. Well, if they're $1.50, I'll drive to South Carolina and pick them all up.
Yeah, I'll take 10.
Yeah, if
Ratio
anybody's
down.
interested, just get in touch with Bob or Lee or anybody, and then Bob can let you know what he's selling them for. I guess they're his. Bob, are they nukes? Are they full colonies that you're selling? Dave says he doesn't have any demand for bees around his place, but I tell you what, there's people still looking for bees up here where I'm at. And Queens, everybody's always calling me for Queens.
Yeah.
Queens,
still
I get
people asking
calls
for
for Queens
packages here.
every day.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of anybody around my area selling packages of bees. Everything around here is all nukes.
I guess we could.
Yeah, there's nobody selling packages
Right.
here, but everybody's asking for them.
Different shoes on.
You got a guy on four is going for the nukes.
Have y'all seen that stuff? Have y'all seen that stuff that Cayman was trying out for the small hive beetles the other day?
My gosh.
I
hadn't
started
seen that
watching it. I got about like 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I haven't finished watching it yet.
I really hope that stuff works. The way that, I know all of it's experimental, and UGA is doing so much stuff right now with the honeybees. It's crazy. But from what he was saying, that's like the fix all, done all.
Yeah, we don't have hive beetles up here, so that wasn't really.
Yeah, y'all are lucky.
Interesting
man.
watching the whole thing.
Y'all are lucky. It's crazy down here. I mean, you pop a lid open and they just go everywhere.
I think I've probably seen 3 total this year.
Wow.
As far as putting hives on soybeans, I was always told that bees don't do anything with soybeans, that they're self-pollinating.
So I thought that what I heard, like even self-pollinating things, the bees can get pollen from them. It's just not
Yeah.
as nutritious.
It's not very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's like corn. Like
Mhm.
corn.
Yeah.
There's corn on the ones at my farm. And I don't think they pull very much pollen in at all off of that. I know they don't pull any nectar off of it, but not much pollen.
You know, the big one around here that's coming up is will be pumpkins and sunflowers.
Mm.
Our host left us. He just disappeared. He's gone from the screen.
He went back to Mexico.
Yeah. He's like, 2 weeks
Be
ago.
back
he was
in
like,
15.
I'm going back on
He's trying to
vacation."
find his birth certificate to actually
I
clear
was
it
about
out.
to say he's in there looking at the calendar trying to figure out how old he actually is. I tried to run through the comments, see if we missed anything.
I almost tried to turn the light on too.
Yeah,
Well,
peppermint
Bob was
candy
asking
is
about
good.
bees. I don't know if they pulled this up. He said he'll sell up to 40.
We're going to take the show on the road.
I think we're fixing to take our show on the road. Literally.
Gotta go
There
get
he
dinner.
is.
Gotta go get dinner since the rest is still in the oven.
So my son came by, got the lasagna that was cooking in the oven, took it to my mother-in-law's house. She cooked it for us and said it was done. So I think we're hotspotting her iPad. So we're going to jump in the truck and head down there and
There
finish
you
this
go.
up there.
We'll take you guys
That's
with
awesome.
us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or you grab the iPad.
My hands are full.
My hands are full too.
This may be an issue.
It's not an issue. Just listen to what I'm telling you.
All right, we're going dark for a minute.
Uh-oh.
So, Ricky, something I wanted to say, I was thinking about this today, about the beekeeping community. And I know most all of us already know this. How much I appreciate that community, because whenever we were up there at the expo this earlier this year, you had opened, we went to the Mexican restaurant, all sat down, and there were, I don't know how many people were in there, 50 something people sitting there.
Yeah.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and hardly any of those people knew the other.
Yep.
And every single person sitting in there were having conversation. You didn't have any crosswords at all. And everybody had something in common and was talking to each other in a very, very professional way. That was so cool. That stuck out to me so much. I sat back and just watched, because that's community. That's very major.
Yeah, that's something about the expo. It brings people together from all over the place. And there was a lot of people like Philip that was from Michigan, that came and was with our group. I couldn't believe how many Michigan people was there. It just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that goes for like when I went to Mexico. I can't speak all of the Hispanic language, right? The Spanish language, but we can communicate about bees and have a great conversation with these guys. So look at them. They're in the car.
They're moving.
Look at that.
There's food involved. He's in a hurry.
Yeah.
Just don't show my speedometer.
But you're right. The expo is a special place, and it brings so many people together. I got to meet Philip there. Tom and Melissa I met there. It's just amazing. It brings so many people together. It's kind of like this, podcast. It just brings a lot of people together, and we can enjoy being with each other. That's what I love. It's great. So it's a good community.
Yeah.
It's a good beekeeping community.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. got to hear some Tom, you shared a great story, and that busts my heart. I want you to know that just thrilled my spirit so much, that just hearing your testimony.
Oh, look, we'll get to show you guys where the power pole is knocked down also. So you know it's for real. It's not that we didn't pay our electric bill.
The scene of the crime.
Now, Tom, that wasn't Melissa putting a dent in the other side of your truck with the phone pole, was it? I'm sorry. I had to.
I didn't look to see if there's any more dents in it. How about that?
Here we go. Here's the.
She thought it was another gate, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
There's the phone pole right there.
Hey, tell them to hurry up, Melissa.
I know.
Tell them they're messing your podcast up right now.
I know, right? They're jacking up my whole evening here.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure my air conditioning comes back on here pretty soon, because that would upset me.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, in a hurricane we had down here several years ago, the generator wasn't doing right. I slept in my car that night with the engine running. I had AC.
Yeah. Gosh.
You doggone right.
Yeah, that would be difficult.
I laid the back seats down and stretched out.
Yeah, we may have to stay at my mom and dad's house tonight.
I'll just go back home.
Just go back home and suffer. No.
I was about to bring that one up, Ricky.
We keep clicking the same ones tonight.
JW says, "See, I told you all they do is eat."
JW, we appreciate you being on tonight, brother.
As soon as the power went out and I knew I had that food in the oven, I knew, since it was an accident related, the power wasn't going to be on anytime soon. I'm like, call one of the boys and tell them to bring us some food home.
Tom and Melissa are some dedicated beekeepers to jump into a car to keep the battery going. That's awesome.
What else are we going to do with our time? This is the bee truck. Well,
the bee truck.
This is his work truck, but we use it more for beekeeping lately than his landscaping stuff. So,
well, you do. I do.
We didn't get my car out because it's in the garage, and we didn't want to deal with having to get the garage door open and closed with no power on.
Hey, Rodney's got a generator if you need to use it.
Yeah, bring it over and hook it up. Tell me, and then call me and tell me when it's done. I'll come back home.
I wonder how many cutouts Rodney's done this year. He does a lot of cutouts and swarm catches. I'd like to know how many cutouts he's done so far.
I done lost count with how many bees he got.
What's that?
I said I've lost count with how many bees he's got.
He's in Middle North Carolina.
Okay. Be there in a minute.
Yeah,
I'll be there in a minute. Randy says that. I'll be there in a minute.
We haven't done too many cutouts this year. Maybe like 10-ish, 10 or 12. Not a ton more than that, because we were just so busy this spring trying to keep up with our own bees that we just didn't have time to do any cutouts.
Yeah.
So we really just started doing them like in the last 2 months. Do maybe like 2-ish a week.
I think I've done 5 this year, so I've caught more swarms than I have done cutouts. And now all the calls I'm getting are yellow jackets. We had 20 calls probably in the last 2 weeks, and they've been yellow jackets.
Really? Ugh.
Yeah.
Now, do you go out and take care of the yellow jackets or no?
Don't really mess with the yellow jackets, unless it's an old person and they need some help. And I might spray them for them, or I've never taken any away, so. Sorry about that, Rodney. I forgot you was in South Carolina.
Rodney, what part of upstate are you in? My first 10 years was right above Walhalla in Tomasi. That's the reason why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Hey,
Tommy
Spunky,
is
how's your
very-
bees going off the mountain right now?
I think he's around Spartanburg area.
They seem to be
I
doing
gotcha.
all right.
You spent all that honey out?
Yeah, y'all spin that box out and put it back on there for them. See if they make any more.
You got some pretty popular honey out of that little hive, that's for sure. It was definitely dark. Yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, look at it looked pretty clear coming off the frame, and then it just got darker and darker.
Yeah. How does it look all
Hey.
jarred up? Is it still that dark?
I haven't jarred any of it yet.
Okay.
I got a question for y'all. Whenever y'all process honey and that cream that's on top, do y'all keep that for yourself, or do you let your customers have it?
Generally, I don't put that in the bottle just for, I guess, looks. Whenever I'm bottling in my tank, if it gets that low in that white stuff, basically peroxide, everything starts coming off the top, I'll keep that bottle for ourselves to use here at home.
I got you.
What about you, Phil?
Anytime we've had that, people are like,
Oh no, it froze.
Phil, what about you on that? Do you take that off?
Yeah, I'll take that off because if any of that gets in the bottles, I literally will see people actually reach around that one and grab the one behind it that doesn't have it. So if it gets that low, then yeah, I try and skim it off.
Gotcha.
Now, easy way to get that off the top, take a piece of cellophane plastic, like open, pull it out, set it on top, and just barely pat it down on all that foam and any wax particles, and then grab the center of that plastic and pick it up. All the rest of it just kind of cling to it, and it'll pull everything off the top.
yeah, you kind of do that same technique when you're like bottling honey for a honey show, to get all those bubbles and any foam that might rise to the top. Just put that cellophane on top and pull it off with the cellophane.
I always keep it for me. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't mind eating it. Here we do.
It's got the good stuff in it.
Yeah.
All good stuff comes to the top.
Yeah.
I just stick it back off and let the bees eat it.
I think that top wants y'all to pull over.
See that blue light in the back?
We ain't stopping.
We're almost there. We're like 2 miles away. 2 miles away from dinner.
So, is Tom taking you out to eat, Melissa? Is that where you guys going to?
No, we're going to my mom's house. She's got our lasagna. She's got Andrew came and picked up the lasagna that I had in the oven and took it to my mom and dad's house to put in their oven. So we're heading to my mom and dad's house to eat the lasagna I was originally cooking at my house. So that way we don't have to eat in the dark at our house and have Andrew bring it back. We can go eat in the light. I don't know.
One thing I do as far as like a cough suppressant or a sore throat, congestion stuff, I'll take like a glass jar and take garlic.
Yeah.
Peel it, lay it on its side, and then hit it with a knife to crush it open. And I'll fill that jar halfway up with garlic. And then I finish filling the jar on top of that with honey. And let it set for about 2 or 3 weeks, kind of ferment in and blend. Now, you just want to make sure you crack that top at least twice a day because it's going to build pressure.
Let those gases out.
Yep. But for a sore throat, it's good. It works quick, and it has a good flavor.
Do that. I've heard people doing that before, but I never knew how they made it. So
yeah, I just peel my garlic and I lay it on the counter on a cutting board or whatever, and I lay the knife on its side and just hit the knife one time just to crush that bulb open, and then put it in a jar and put honey on top. And usually after about two, maybe 3 weeks, you won't be getting really any more pressure build up in it. But just take a little spoonful. But you can also take that honey garlic and drizzle it over your pizza crust.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about that up at the expo.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Good. But when that honey infuses into that garlic, though, you could pull that whole garlic pot out and just eat it, and it's not real strong.
Yeah. And it's sweet.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're back.
Looks like Tom and Melissa have made it to their destination. So
Made the trip.
Well, that's why it bumped us off there for a second, because it was logging onto my mom and dad's internet from my hotspot instead of my hotspot on my phone.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and stop the chat here tonight, since let them go ahead and eat. I do appreciate Tom and Melissa fighting so hard to stay with us tonight. It's been awesome. It was kind of nice, not to hear Tom talk for a little while on that ride.
I know that was nice not to have to hear Tom. Yeah.
But I do want to say a special thanks to Phil and Dawson. Man, I had a great time with you guys. We're going to get both of you guys back on again, because this had a really good conversation, and there's many, many more questions I want to ask y'all. So we're going to sneak you guys back on again. And Phil works a lot, and Dawson, I know he does too, but we're going to get you both back on. So we appreciate both of you guys being on tonight. Appreciate
Thank you.
everybody.
I'll be glad to
Thanks
anytime.
for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have been great. I mean, I've enjoyed every bit of the conversation tonight. So
We're on YouTube.
Hi.
She's a lasagna saver.
Does she
there
have
you
us
go.
a plate fixed yet?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. There's that.
there's the pan. So
Yeah, there's a lot of us here to eat.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to cancel. We're going to end it there, and we'll say God bless, and we'll see you next time.
God bless y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Right.
Did you guys already eat?
425. Yeah.
Guys, I really did have a